going on, guys? Mike Sheamer here. I'm just going to talk about today kind of what I eat or try to eat on a given day, or just on an average day if I'm eating clean, which is very difficult to say the least when you're married and have kids, and their food preferences or requirements don't always mesh with your healthy eating or your goals. So that all being said, and also I've been a natural bodybuilder and a natural athlete my whole life, so this is a normal diet, not too expensive because I don't want to spend the money. If I was a multi-millionaire, I would spend lots of extra money, and my diet would be better, but I'm not. So anyway, not very few supplements, if any. You don't have to take any, to be honest. I'll tell you what I do take on a daily basis that I try to get in. So in the morning, I usually have a cup of coffee with maybe like a quarter of a cup or an eighth of a cup of unsweetened soy milk or unsweetened plant-based milk, which usually has pea protein or something like that. Either way, it's like 8 grams of protein per serving. So, divide that by 4 or so, and that's what you get. So not too much, but it's got some B vitamins, a little protein. It just kind of cuts the bitterness of the black coffee. I have a teaspoon or a tablespoon of almond butter with some oats in it. I keep that in my fridge once it's opened. Then I have just like a half cup of 0 or close to 0 calorie juice. So it's not like real juice, or it's very little real juice, or just something sweet, usually sweetened with stevia, just to kind of wake me up and perk me up a little bit. And so I'll probably around 9:30 or 10, I'll have a second cup of coffee. Same thing with the milk added to it, the vegan milk. I usually take a B vitamin or a half of a B vitamin at that time, B complex, so I get in my B6, my B12, my biotin, and that, I'm just getting back into that, and it seems to have made a big difference in my metabolism and a little bit in my energy. This past 6 months or so, I was really having trouble kind of making progress with weight loss and just consistent workouts, and I think that helped a little bit. And it could be a cheap B vitamin if you want. I get like a Nature's Made, I break it in half. Again, that's just what I do. And I'll have like a handful of Cheerios or store brand Cheerios, just the regular kind, no sugar, and that'll just kind of fill my stomach with some more complex carbs a little bit, keep me from being super hungry. So just like the little bit of oats in the morning, it helps me kind of get by till lunch. So then around 10:30 or 11, I'll have a handful of pumpkin seeds, roasted and salted. They're pepitas, so they're just the inside with no shell on the top. And that'll kind of be my snack before lunch. Then for lunch, these days I'm usually having around 3 pieces of Ezekiel bread toast. I toast it up. I put avocado spread on it. It's got some spices in it, so I guess it's like guacamole avocado spread, mostly avocado. And then I put some ground flaxseed on top of that. Sometimes, if I can find it, a ground flax chia seed combo. Sorry, just worked out. My kids have had a little from school, a little stuffy nose, all that kind of fun stuff. So that gives me a lot of fiber, some protein, some micronutrients, and a lot of healthy fat too. A lot of healthy fat. So that's good. And then around lunch or after my workout, I'll also have around 8 or 10 ounces of either the unsweetened soy milk or the pea protein type milk. I'll mix it with some sugar-free Hershey's chocolate syrup, which actually has biotin in it, and it's actually not too bad. Nutritionally, it's not too bad, but it has good flavor. It'll help me chug that, and I use that kind of instead of my protein shake. I used to basically live on protein powder and skim milk. I think it served me well a long time ago, my 20s, my teens and 20s, but not so much now as I'm approaching 40. So that usually gets me to, around 4 o'clock. Oh yeah, and with lunch, before or after lunch, I'll have my last third cup of coffee. If I can, it'll be like half decaf coffee. Ideally, it'll be mostly decaf, and I put some cocoa powder in there as well with each of my coffee servings for a little bit of flavor. Get the mocha flavor in there, which is pretty healthy too. There's no sugar, there's no junk. It's get a little fiber, a little protein, and just the cocoa health benefits, and just to increase the flavor without increasing any sugar. So then around like 4 o'clock, 4:30, I'll have a handful of sunflower seed kernels, roasted and salted. And then for dinner, I'll try, if I can. Dinner is the toughest with the kids and the wife and kids. So I'll either have what they're having, which is not always very healthy, and sometimes I overeat. I have their leftovers. But ideally I would have stir-fry frozen vegetables with some grilled chicken strips, with olive oil mixed in, and then some garlic as well. So either like the fresh garlic pieces, or if I have to, just garlic powder and extra olive oil. So I mix that all together, eat that, sometimes with a cup or two of brown rice or quinoa. And then at night, and then after dinner, I usually, struggle there. So usually I overeat. I have too many snacks before bed, which is kind of the worst time to do it, but sometimes it's my little reward for getting through the day, So what I try to do is I have the pumpkin seeds with the shells on. So that's good protein, healthy fats, magnesium, fiber. It helps fill you up. So I have like a handful or a half handful of those. I have a handful or two of beef jerky or turkey jerky, which is not ideal, but it's just convenient. It's high protein, low carb. Get some animal protein in there if I haven't during the day. So again, it's not perfect, but and then I'll sometimes even have an extra slice of the Ezekiel bread with some hummus, oftentimes roasted red pepper hummus, to help fill me up and make sure I am full through the night so it doesn't disrupt my sleep. Then I get a little extra nutrition too before I go to bed. But then I'll admit I do some snacking sometimes. That's when I would eat chips. That's when I would eat crackers. Sometimes I would even, you know, if it's been a rough day, a rough week, I'll eat candy at night. So I certainly don't recommend that. That's the worst way to sabotage a great day of eating, a healthy day of eating. So you will notice there's a lot of healthy fats. I try and do a lot of healthy fats. I try and do fiber. Try and minimize cholesterol and keep it at a reasonable level. Sodium isn't great, but I do my best. I try and keep the caffeine limited. I try and get my caffeine out of the way by 11:30, 12, or 1 at the latest, if possible. And that's all for just general health, trying to maintain my weight or lose weight ideally. I don't have the metabolism I used to, so it's very difficult for me. And for other reasons too, I won't get into. But it also, all this tries to contribute to heart health. I do take a multivitamin or two as well during the day with food. At most, one with lunch and one with dinner. Sometimes I do a half. If I have a multivitamin for men, half the time I'll do one with iron, and then the other half will be with no iron. At nighttime, I do often, not every night, take a magnesium supplement to help with relaxation, prevent or minimize leg muscle cramps, which haven't been bothering me too much lately, but they can certainly ruin your night's sleep, and magnesium is just good for so many things. I do sometimes, I live in New England, so I mean, it's not a lot of sun from October through March or April, so a vitamin D3 supplement, sometimes with food, with healthy fats, usually around lunchtime if I'm going to do that. And sometimes it's in my multivitamin as well. Sometimes there's magnesium in my multivitamin, although it's not usually a good source. It's usually magnesium oxide, but it's better than nothing sometimes. So that's ideally what I try to eat. The reality, though, is on weekends, for dinners when my kids are home, or if my kids are homesick, or it's a vacation or something, then it certainly it's not that healthy as I just described. And that's kind of the difference maker, honestly. When you're older and there's less leeway, there's less room for error, that makes all the difference. So that's the reason why I'm, an extra 10, 15 pounds heavier than I should be. But anyways, I hope this gives you some ideas, and these are a lot of good options. You can certainly substitute different items if you are completely vegan or vegetarian, pescatarian, or maybe you love red meat, or maybe you like you get some healthy salmon, or you get nice natural organic cuts of meat, and that's certainly better than the processed cheaper cuts. And it's really up to you, but I have my own goals, trying to maintain my lean muscle, trying to lose a little bit of weight, keep heart health, and so thanks for watching. I'll try and do more health and fitness videos on top of my business and finance videos. So thanks for watching. Take care.